The timestamp on the security camera reads 11:47 p.m. The Parker family home sits quiet on Maple Street, bathed in the soft glow of streetlights filtering through autumn leaves. Inside, the living room camera captures Sarah Parker closing her laptop, rubbing her tired eyes. Her husband, Michael, is already upstairs. Their two children, Emma and Jake, have been asleep for hours. But in the corner of the frame, something stirs. Rex, their 4-year-old German shepherd, lifts his head from his bed near the fireplace. His ears stand at attention. His dark eyes fix on something beyond the camera's view, beyond human perception. For 3 seconds, he remains perfectly still, a statue carved from vigilance and instinct. Then he stands. Sarah doesn't notice at first. She's scrolling through her phone, one hand absently reaching for her water glass. But Rex moves with purpose toward the kitchen, his muscular body tense, his tail low. The camera switches to the kitchen feed. Rex stands before the basement door, sniffing along the crack at the bottom. His body language shifts. The confident protector becomes something else, alert, urgent, almost frantic. He begins to whine, soft at first, then louder. Sarah appears in the kitchen doorway. "Rex, what's wrong, boy?" Her voice carries the casual concern of someone who thinks their dog needs to go outside. She reaches for his collar, but Rex pulls away, pouring at the basement door with increasing desperation. His claws scrape against the wood. Once, twice, 3 times. And then he does something he's never done before. He barks, not the playful bark of greeting or the warning bark at strangers. This is primal, urgent, a sound that seems to come from somewhere deeper than his chest. It's a bark that demands attention, that refuses to be ignored. What did Rex sense that the family couldn't? The timestamp reads 11:52 p.m. 5 minutes have passed since Rex's first warning. Michael comes down the stairs, his expression annoyed. "Sarah, what's going on? I have an early meeting." He stops mid-sentence when he sees Rex. The dog is now frantically circling between Sarah and the basement door, his behavior so unlike his normally calm demeanor that even Michael pauses. "He won't stop," Sarah says, her voice uncertain now. "He's acting like something's wrong." Michael approaches the basement door. It's probably just a mouse or something, but his hand hesitates on the doorknob. Rex's barking intensifies, and now the dog does something extraordinary. He grabs Michael's pant leg with his teeth, gently but firmly, and pulls him away from the door. "Rex, no," Michael commands, but Rex doesn't obey. Instead, the German shepherd runs to the front door, then back to the family, then to the door again. The pattern is unmistakable. He wants them to leave. The kitchen camera captures Sarah's face as understanding begins to dawn. "Michael, what if he's trying to tell us something?" "Sarah, he's a dog." But Rex cuts him off with another series of deafening barks. And then in the silence that follows, they all hear it. A faint hissing sound, barely audible, coming from beneath the basement door. Michael's face goes pale. He moves to the thermostat on the wall and his hands start trembling. The carbon monoxide detector reads 0, but it should be working. Michael installed fresh batteries last month. "Get the kids," he whispers. "Get them now." Sarah's footsteps thunder up the stairs. The camera catches Michael pulling out his phone, dialing 911, his voice steady despite the terror in his eyes. "This is 447 Maple Street. I think we have a carbon monoxide leak. My family is inside." Rex remains at the front door, his intelligent eyes tracking every movement, waiting. But why wasn't the detector working, and how did Rex know? 11:56 p.m., 4 minutes since Michael's call. The upstairs hallway camera shows Sarah bursting into Emma's room, scooping up the 7-year-old without explanation. Emma's sleepy protests are cut short by the urgency in her mother's voice. "We have to go, sweetie, right now." Jake's room is next. The 11-year-old is harder to wake, groggy and confused. "Mom, what?" "Downstairs, fast." The living room camera captures the family converging at the front door. Michael has it open, cool October air rushing in, but Emma's face crumples. "Wait, I need Mr. Whiskers." She means her stuffed cat, the one she slept with since she was 2. She turns to run back upstairs. Rex moves like lightning. He cuts off her path, his body a wall of muscle and protective instinct. Emma tries to go around him, but Rex gently herds her back toward the door, using his body to guide her. His movements are calculated, purposeful, the work of a dog who understands exactly what's at stake. "Emma, no time." Michael grabs her hand, and the family spills out onto the front lawn. The security camera mounted on the porch captures them in the amber glow of the porch light, gasping the clean night air like drowning swimmers breaking the surface. Rex is the last one out. He sits on the lawn between the family and the house, his eyes never leaving the front door. 12:01 a.m. The fire department arrives, red lights painting the quiet street in urgent crimson. Firefighters in full gear storm the house with meters and equipment. The Parker family watches from the neighbor's yard, Michael's arms around his children, Sarah's face buried in Rex's fur. 3 minutes later, a firefighter emerges. His expression is grim. "Mr. Parker, your furnace has a cracked heat exchanger. Carbon monoxide was flooding your house. Another 20 minutes. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't have to." Sarah's legs give out. Michael catches her. Emma and Jake are crying, finally understanding how close they came. But Rex remains calm, his job complete, his family safe. Michael looks down at the German shepherd who saved them all. "How did you know, boy?" His voice breaks. "The detector didn't go off. How did you know?" The answer would come the next morning, and it would change everything they thought they knew. The timestamp reads 8:15 a.m. Morning light streams through the neighbor's kitchen window where the Parkers spent the night. The fire inspector arrives with a full report. The family gathers around the kitchen table, cups of coffee cooling as they listen to the impossible explanation. "Your carbon monoxide detector was malfunctioning," the inspector begins. The sensor had failed, completely silent even as the levels rose to lethal concentrations. He pauses, his expression troubled. "But here's what I can't explain. We pulled your security footage. Your dog started reacting at 11:47 p.m. At that time, the carbon monoxide levels were still low, barely detectable even with our equipment." "What are you saying?" Michael asks. "I'm saying that your dog detected the leak before any human or machine could have. Dogs have been known to sense carbon monoxide, but this..." The inspector looks at Rex, who sits calmly beside Emma's chair. "The levels were so minimal at that point. If he hadn't alerted you when he did, if he'd waited even 10 more minutes, you would have all been unconscious before you realized anything was wrong." Sarah's hand finds Rex's head. "But that's not all, is it?" she asks quietly. "There's something else." The inspector nods. "We checked your detector's maintenance log. The batteries were changed 3 weeks ago, as you said, but the unit itself was recalled 2 months ago. You should have received a notice." "We never got a notice," Michael says. "I know," the inspector pulls out a piece of paper. "The notices were sent to every home in your neighborhood, but somehow yours never arrived, and there's one more thing." He hesitates. "We found evidence that someone had been in your basement within the past week. Footprints in the dust near the furnace. Not yours, according to the shoe size." The room goes cold. The crack in the heat exchanger, it was fresh, days old, maybe a week, and the way it fractured. The inspector's voice drops. "It's consistent with deliberate damage." Sarah's face goes white. "You're saying someone..." "I'm saying this wasn't an accident, Mrs. Parker. Someone wanted that furnace to fail. Someone who knew your carbon monoxide detector wouldn't work because of the recall, and someone who had access to your basement." The pieces fall into place over the next 24 hours. The security footage reveals a man entering the basement through the exterior door 6 days earlier, while the family was at Jake's soccer game. The police identify him quickly. Tom Morrison, Michael's former business partner, who lost everything in a bitter lawsuit 2 years ago. A man who blamed Michael for his financial ruin. A man who had been planning his revenge with calculated precision. But Morrison hadn't counted on Rex. The police officer reviewing the case files is amazed. "Morrison researched your family for months. He knew your schedule, knew about the detector recall, knew the furnace was old enough to damage without obvious evidence. He planned everything perfectly, except for one variable he couldn't predict or control. Rex's loyalty, Rex's instincts, Rex's supernatural ability to sense danger before it became deadly." Morrison is arrested at 3:00 p.m. the following day. The security footage from the Parker home, combined with evidence from his computer, provides an airtight case. Attempted murder, breaking and entering, criminal mischief. But the Parkers aren't thinking about justice or trials. They're in their hotel room, their house still being cleared and repaired, gathered around their German shepherd. 1 week later, the Parker family pulls into their driveway. The house has been cleared, the furnace replaced, new carbon monoxide detectors installed in every room. But it's not the same house they left. It's the house where they almost died, the house where someone tried to murder them in their sleep. Emma hesitates at the front door. Jake's hand trembles as he reaches for the knob. Rex enters first. He walks through each room, his nose working, his ears alert. The family watches as their protector inspects every corner, every shadow. Finally, he returns to the living room and lies down on his bed by the fireplace. His eyes close, his breathing steadies. The message is clear: safe now, home is safe. Emma sits down beside him, her small arms wrapping around his neck. You saved us, Rex. You saved all of us. That night, Michael installs additional security cameras. Sarah programs emergency numbers into every phone. Jake sleeps with his bedroom door open. Emma refuses to go upstairs without Rex. But as the weeks pass, something shifts. The fear begins to fade, replaced by something stronger. Gratitude, understanding, the recognition that they were given a second chance because of a dog who loved them more than his own comfort, more than his own safety. 3 months later, the Parker family appears on the local news. The segment is called Guardian Angels Have 4 Legs. Sarah holds up a photo of Rex, his noble face captured in profile, his intelligent eyes staring into the distance. People always say dogs are man's best friend, she tells the interviewer, but Rex is more than that. He's family, and he proved that when it mattered most, he would do anything to protect us. The reporter asks, what do you want people to know about this story? Michael answers, his hand resting on Rex's head, that animals are not just pets. They're not accessories or possessions. They're intelligent, feeling beings who love us with a purity we don't deserve. Rex didn't save us because he was trained to. He saved us because he loved us. And in that moment, his love was stronger than any poison, any danger, any evil. The segment ends with security footage from that night. Rex at the basement door. Rex pulling Michael away. Rex herding Emma to safety. Rex sitting on the lawn, standing guard until his family was safe. And then a title card appears on screen. Rex received the Canine Medal of Valor from the American Humane Association. The Parker family has launched a foundation to provide free carbon monoxide detectors to families who cannot afford them. They have saved 127 lives in 3 months, all in Rex's name. The final image is from last week. The Parkers' living room, all 4 family members on the couch. Rex lies on the floor, surrounded by them, his tail wagging slowly. Emma's hand rests on his back. Jake scratches behind his ears. Michael and Sarah smile down at him. And in Rex's eyes, there is only one thing visible. Love. Pure, unconditional, and eternal. In the end, we don't save dogs, they save us, not just from danger, but from forgetting what loyalty looks like, what sacrifice means, what it is to love someone more than yourself. Rex didn't just save the Parker family's lives, he reminded them and all of us of what truly matters. That in a world full of darkness, sometimes the brightest light comes on 4 legs with a wagging tail and a heart too big for its body. We don't deserve dogs, but thank God they love us any. Based on true events, Rex is now 5 years old and still protecting his family every single day.